me a little bit how you found Take Steps and why your family is so involved.
Yeah, so our daughter, at the age of probably 9, started having symptoms that we didn't know what it was, and over the course of time and a lot of doctor's appointments and a lot of different strategies, she was diagnosed. Sorry about that. She was diagnosed with Crohn's disease, and we couldn't be more thankful for the doctors, and the GI doc that actually diagnosed her. So once we found out what it was, we just started talking to people about it, and I got connected through a connection of mine who knew somebody else who had colitis, and it ended up being I think he's one of the top, if not the top, Madison fundraisers, and he lives, a handful of blocks away. Cameron's Colitis Crushers.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So I got connected with his mom just a little bit just to find out. And then we heard about the first walk. So we dove into that, and it says on there to fundraise over Facebook. And this was 4 years ago. So things are a little bit different now, especially with all these other ways you can fundraise. But Facebook was the big push from Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. And we just thought, well, maybe we can raise $500. And we just started plugging away. And I can't remember exactly what our total was that first year, but it was over 3,000. And once we hit that, wait a second, we hit $500 in, a matter of a week or something like that. We were just blown away at the support that our friends and family and Facebook friends that we haven't seen in years, gave to us and our daughter Avery. And so we've just kind of done that every year.
So I think a lot of people right now are maybe struggling with how do you make that ask of people, particularly in a time where people are, I think we're all just kind of trying to get through the day. So I guess talk about how you've learned over these years to share your story and ask people to support your family.
Well, part of it goes back to my career. I'm a real estate agent. Okay, so there's a lot of things that we talk about in our own business marketing and things like that. And one of the phrases that one of the people in our industry uses all the time is FOPO. And that's fear of other people's opinions. Okay, so one of the biggest struggles with, I think, Facebook marketing and Facebook fundraising and just the ask in general is people are fearful of what other people are going to think of them asking, right?
Sure.
Oh, they're asking for money. Everybody asks for money and all this stuff. But the fact of the matter is people want to help causes that they feel connected to. And this is what we learned that first year is like, we knew we had a lot of strong family connections and friend connections, and but we just didn't realize how much they would be willing to support. And for somebody to give $20 or $50, it's not a tough ask. It's not like we're asking people to be the top donor of our fundraising efforts. We have $1,000 or $2,000. We're not asking for that kind of stuff. Hey, can you throw a couple bucks to our cause to help find a cure? And it's also a way that they're seeing the patient, and in this case, my daughter, doing something at age 11, 12, 13, 14 that a lot of people don't need to do or have to do. And people buy into that. And I don't mean buy into it in a negative sense. They want to genuinely help the cause because they're connected to the patient. And, in this case, if somebody that's a team captain is listening to this, or a parent of a team captain, they just want to help out because they love and support you as somebody that they know,
Yeah. How do you
So it's
help
really the
people?
getting over that fear is that number one step, because people don't care.
Definitely.
You know, you think about, and I'll take it down this tangent here. If you think about Facebook, we don't see everybody's posts. For instance, the other day I posted 3 times. There might be a few people that saw all 3. There might be a few people that only saw the one. Um, but it doesn't matter. Even if they saw 3, they're not going to be turned off by you because you're posting. As long as you do it in a respectful way, and I actually think doing it the way that we have chosen to do is better than maybe some of the other fundraisers you see on Facebook, like your birthday fundraiser. I'm fundraising for a cause for my birth. People aren't as connected to that as they are if you're just doing this on occasion for a specific event or a specific time. So
How do you establish that connection? How do you, when you're doing just a Facebook post, there's so many different things. I mean, right now there's the coronavirus through a kid's eyes and people, sharing birthday messages and things like that. How do you kind of cut through all of that, the fun social stuff, to get people connected to Avery, to your family,
sure.
and get them to want to support what you're working on?
Well, I think that there's 3 steps to this whole fundraising on Facebook and the getting the connection. Number one, you got to be strategic. And I'm not saying you have to have a strategic plan and, okay, we're going to start fundraising on April 1st and go to June 20th. And this is what we're going to do along the way. I'm just saying you need to be strategic. Don't just post once. You might need to do it multiple times. You might need to do it multiple times in a week. You strategize, do it in the morning, do it in the afternoon, do it in the evening. You're trying to connect with different people. Not everybody's on Facebook 24/7. They might only get on it after work in the evening, or maybe they do it first thing in the morning. There's some people, my friends included, that might be on it all day long. I don't know. But number one is to be strategic about it. But the next 2 are probably most important, is tell the story. um, and I say pull at the heartstrings, but be truthful with your story and tell, like the other day, when Avery first started getting infusions, it was difficult. She'd get the courage up along the drive to the clinic, and even as much as getting ready for the IV. But once the IV was going to go in, she freaked out, had mental breakdowns, bawling, crying. It was to now she's at a point where she watches the whole thing. She wants to be a doctor. She's seeing what my wife's a nurse as well, so her mom's a nurse, and her mom's really good at IVs. But it's just interesting, the transformation. So tell that story. That's our part of our story. But then the other thing is share pictures, share graphics. I mean, the graphic that you can put together from the foundation with your timeline and different things, that's a great graphic to show. If you have the ability, create. I mean, there's a free program on the internet called Canva. You can make your own graphics for Facebook or Instagram or however you want to do it. But then videos are a strong thing too. I remember it was either last year or the year before, Avery sat and talked about her struggle and her story a little bit. All those things were impactful. So strategy, story, pictures, graphics, videos, all those things are really important. And then don't lose sight of the fact that we're not just fundraising. We're not just raising funds, we're raising awareness. So you talked about the other day, we decided on that we were going to, because of everything else, coronavirus and all these people and all these organizations needing money. I'm really involved with our local food pantry, all those things. We decided, hey, we're not going to bombard people for a couple months of trying to do our fundraising. We're going to pick specific days along the way. So we did World IBD Day. We'll do the day that the walk was supposed to happen. Okay, and then we'll do the day of the virtual walk. That's kind of our strategy for the year.
Awesome.
But so I kind of lost my train of thought. Oh, we're trying to raise awareness, right? We had 18 people out of all the people. I have over nine. I'm not patting myself on the back. I got over 900 Facebook friends, right? And how many of those are you actually in contact with on a daily basis? Probably very few. But of the 900 plus, we got 18 donations. Okay,
Great.
that's not a lot, but it was $1,000, right, in 18 donations. But the other thing is, I got 70 likes on one, I got 25 likes on another, I got 20 likes on another. I put a frame around my Facebook main Facebook picture. That got another 10 likes. So you think about the 100 plus people we rose awareness for. That's the other reason why this whole thing exists. I mean, we talk about it as people that understand Crohn's and colitis, that it's the invisible disease. They look normal,
Right.
but they're dealing with this autoimmune disease that causes pain and sometimes surgeries and all this stuff that people just don't see. It's not like a cancer patient going through chemo and then that person has cancer too. Those types of things. So raising awareness is probably as important as raising the money, right? So that's the other thing, is don't be fearful of Facebook and raising money, because at worst you're bringing people's attention to what's going on, and to me that's not a bad thing at all.
No, that's huge. I mean, that's a big part of, we have a couple of pieces of what our mission is, and it's caring and curing. And the cure part is driven by fundraising, because we want to do research and that does require money. But the caring part is, in addition to things like Camp Oasis and education programs and things like that, I mean, we just want patients to know that they are supported and cared about and loved, and that people understand what they're going through. So yeah, I got to tell you, I really appreciate everything that your family does for our organization, and that you are very thoughtful about the way that you fundraise and the way that you share your story.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. I mean, we've been invested in it ever since day one. Once we found out about Crohn's disease, and it was just amazing how immediate the connection was to somebody else in the community. Not only our small community of 10,000 people, but the community of Crohn's and colitis and IBD and all that stuff. But fundraising on Facebook is just one avenue. I mean, Cameron's Colitis Crushers, they have a volleyball tournament every year, and he and his mom, they knock it out of the park. I mean, $8,000. They get donations from different businesses and restaurants, and they have a volleyball tournament people pay fees for, and it all goes to take steps in the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. It's amazing. And we were actually thinking about doing some type of fundraiser this year until all of the COVID stuff and different things. So we may do that in the future. But there's lots of different avenues. Have fun with it. That's the other thing. And then one last thing that I will say is, you got to make sure you thank the people. And, my daughter gives me a hard time because, there's probably some just a thank you message that's stock that's in the thing. And we say, no, you want to change it up and make it personal. Because maybe it's a family member, maybe it's one of our close friends, maybe it's somebody we haven't seen in 30 years. I just want the note to be a little bit more to the heart, so to speak. And she gives us grief, but she enjoys to do it too. So it just takes some time to do it, but you got to thank the people that help. And in our fundraising, we've had several people donate every year. And then we have some that are just new every year. I mean, I saw something. Not only have I not seen this person probably since high school graduation,
Wow.
but she donated and shared our post onto her page. Now, it
That's
didn't
amazing.
necessarily generate money, but it definitely generated awareness, right? So, so that's the fun part about doing that too, is to get reconnected with people that you may have not seen in a while, that you're like, holy cow, she supported this. I got to reach out to her and say thanks, and all that stuff. So